The next session is our second partner session of the day with eBay. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Shah.
Yeah, beautiful. Hi guys, thanks so much for having me. My name is Shahriyar, call me Shah. So I'm from eBay Live team. Before we begin, we've got tons to talk about, or we could talk about for ages. We're over there in the corner over there, so please feel free to ask questions. I know there's a QR code in the booklet, so feel free to use that. Live is new, it's exciting, there's so much to go into. I'll try to do my best to cover a good foundation of live shopping, what it's like on eBay, and then we'll do a kind of Q&A at the very end. Before we begin, I'd love to just get an understanding of the audience we have today. So we'll do a short poll. If you can raise your hands if you have heard of live shopping before, just raise your hands. Amazing. And if you can keep your hands up if you've heard of eBay live shopping before. Okay, lovely, lovely. And keep your hands raised if you bought something from eBay live before. Okay, nice. And then any, just a random one, any Arsenal fans in the building today? No? Okay, nice. I'll scrap that piece there, but just FYI there. All right, guys. So look, welcome. We'll get cracking into it. What is live commerce? Is the future. We really believe in it. It is the latest way to get closer to your viewers, your buyers, your products, and really showcase who you are, all embedded into eBay and eBay's single platform, single marketplace. So there's not another app. There is all in sync, integrated in one place, one home to go live. So when it comes to live as a platform, the timing and why live is today is because it's expected to reach 3.7 trillion by 2030, in just 4 years. That's globally, right? We're looking at the market in the next 2 years. You're looking at 500 billion. So what that tells us right now is there's an increase in the appetite for buying on live. You could think, yes, impulse purchases, quick purchases, low ASP, but actually a lot of high ASP, considerable purchases are being made on eBay. We really, through the live shopping, so we really want to highlight and emphasize, why is that happening? Where's the trust coming from? Where's the trust coming from? How do you build the trust? How do you connect to your shoppers? And how do you drive that number forward? We'll go through to the next slide, which is a little bit about the KPIs and what we're looking for. So when you're on live, what do you need to see happen? At the start of the funnel, you've got the engagement piece. That's the discovery, right? When you're creating content, whether it's on social media, on other platforms, you want to get a lot of people viewing, and that discoverability, you want to look at engagement. How many people are viewing your content, clicking through it, sharing it, liking it? And with live shopping, and especially on eBay Live, what you can see is a 10x on engagement. That drives the front end of that funnel, right? Then you're looking at the click-through rate. So if you've got your products available on a live shopping session, how many people are actually clicking through the product and want to see a little bit more about the listing? What's going on with the product? How do you transition and convert that high visibility into click-through interest? And you're looking at a really strong 8 to 20% versus traditional listings and online commerce at 2 to 3%. So already you're seeing great growth and delivery and success on live. But then when you look at the end-to-end order purchases, you're at 5 to 15%. That compares to about a 5% overall on e-commerce traditional side. Why is that happening? It's because you've got everything in one space, one hub, working together at a quick, rapid pace. So you can check out on eBay Live using the standard modes of checkout, Apple Pay, third-party operators. You can. It's pretty much the exact same payment process. It all happens potentially in under 60 seconds. The quickness, the speed, the trust, the discoverability, everything happens end-to-end in eBay Live. One of the beautiful stats I personally really, really love is that 40% lower return rate. Why does that happen? Or how do you drive towards returning to reducing your return rate? It's trust, it's FAQs. FAQs no longer happen in the listings where you're looking for that right question. Can I ask that question? Can I engage with the seller? Do I trust it enough to buy today? On a live session, that real-time interaction gives you, the viewer, the confidence to purchase and ensure that purchase is the right purchase for you. And that's what really drives it across all categories. That could be fashion, apparel, women's wear, men's wear, collectibles, and we'll touch base a little bit on those categories. But ultimately, what you're seeing here today is live shopping impacts the full funnel. So then when you're looking at eBay and why specifically eBay, we've got some really, really good stats here. So the first is you're not starting from scratch. Ultimately, you're tapping into the 135 million active worldwide buyers. And within the UK, you got 25 million, right? Live listings, 2.5 billion. What that tells you is the market is ready, it's connected. The marriage of live and core is the beauty of eBay. So again, when you're creating your live sessions or you consider going onto live, you're not just going live separately on a brand new platform. You're already engaging with search, history, buyers, that category that's booming with energy and high buyer intent. That's what you're tapping into with live. So we zoom into a couple quick categories. You've got fashion audiences that are deeply engaged with the searches. So you got, for example, Dior here and the rise of Dior searches, 52 searches in a minute. But what's really interesting is that 194% increase in search following Taylor Swift's engagement. I don't personally follow Taylor Swift, love the songs, but that social media trend or what happened creates that commerce. And that's what we see today. We see that the trend, the community, the engagement translates into sales and search across onto eBay as a platform. And that's what you're tapping into. The search history, that the power of eBay as a marketplace that holds that volume in search. How do you tap into it with live? How do you get your viewers to see your listings and engage with those products that you have? The second piece is when you look at collectibles. Sorry, let me switch across. Collectibles. So collectibles is the home of eBay. You know, if you're a collector and you're looking for that missing piece, whether it's Pokemon, TCG, trading cards, STC, antiques, across a whole range of collectibles, the viewer, the enthusiast that's looking for that product is starting with eBay, often starting and trying to find that right product. Why? Is because there's a sense of trust, sense of authenticity. One of the pieces here with eBay and why eBay is really driving that trust is authentication guarantee. So we've just recently launched this across trading cards, and it's also readily available in high-end luxury products and items such as watches, handbags, apparel. But ultimately, eBay is a place where you've got that trust, and that's why viewers and have a high buyer intent. When you're on your live streams, they're there ready to engage and trust that if they purchase, they're purchasing with that guarantee. And that's that side where we see 470% increase in blind boxes sold. These are sort of mystery packs within Pokemon trading cards. And the increase that happens on that is driven primarily by that live shopping aspect of people being able to see the products, view the products, and then get that excitement of what are they opening, what are they buying into. So there's a lot there in terms of those two big categories. Not to say that we don't play a role in others. And that takes us really nicely into Pre-Loved Tech. So Pre-Loved Tech is a great example of a seller in the refurbished space. They've been on eBay about 20 years. Matt, great guy. If you are on eBay on the app and you see them go live, join in, have a look, and see how he engages the audience. And they sell tablets, smartphones, all kinds of electronic consumer gadgets. What they've done was a huge shift about 6 months ago into eBay Live as a primary channel. So they started doing, let's say I think it's 1 to 2 shows per week, and then building that cadence, and then kind of driving storytelling behind the product and trying to really differentiate why you should buy one of their products. If they're talking about the grading or behind the product, talking about the condition of the product, showcasing that in real time in front of the buyers. That resulted in 105% GMV increase, 70% generated by eBay Live, and then a 5,000 follower increase on eBay. Now, what really stands out to me here is the GMV piece. When you look at the GMV that's driven through eBay Live, 70%. So what's happening with the other 30%? The other 30% takes place on the core marketplace, on their site, on their shop front. When you host an eBay Live, you've got all your viewers, you've got the excitement, and you've got people buying and people asking questions, the user engaged. What happens when your live finishes? You could do a 1 hour live, you could do a 2 hour live, you could do a mega live for 6 hours. But when your live finishes, the viewers then have a halo effect on your store, and they transition into your core store. And they take they look at other products, and they look at, maybe I missed out on this specific product on the auction on a live, and actually this piece and this new product across your whole catalog is of interest. So you do get that strong halo effect. It doesn't just take place. You don't see the success in just pure sales in lives, but it carries over into your core store. The second piece to note here is the followers. 5,000 followers. And building followers is sometimes quite difficult. If you created any content before, it can take quite a long time to script, to post the content, create the content, to edit the content, add captions. What you notice on live and the instantaneity of live being right there in person, engaging audience, they build that trust really quickly, and then they follow your shop. Every time you go live on eBay Live, your followers get a notification say, hey, we're going live at this time. And that's a really good way to keep building that community that turns into commerce. The bigger community, more trust in your community, they come back and repeat and join you. So that's something that's been really successful for Matt and Pre-Love Tech. The live storytelling, auctions, explaining the process, getting closer to the product, and selling ultimately the 105% GMV that resulted from him going live and their business growing specifically, not just on live, but also that core element. So there's a really strong synergy and marriage, and it's not just about the success you get on live. Cool. So we'll zoom into a little bit into what makes eBay Live really special. That immediate impact is the inventory. So what you're doing on a live is you're bringing your products, you're demonstrating your products, you're showcasing whether it's new, used, pre-loved, vintage. You're showcasing it across any category within fashion, collectibles, emerging. We have home and garden, electronics, refurb, beauty, skincare. You're ultimately bringing that product to your camera in front of you. You don't need a complicated setup. You don't need a studio. You just need a phone, good lighting, and a microphone. Now, when you're showcasing your product, you're bringing it in front of your audience and building that confidence to showcase the value. Why should they buy today? What's the CTA? Why should they purchase with you? Is there a pricing narrative? Is there a product narrative that you want to demonstrate? But when you bring that product forward, users and viewers, that community, are constantly engaging with it. You'll see them asking you questions on, hey, actually, can I see product number 7? Or can you bring the product a little bit closer so I can see the corner of it? How do you use this product? So live shopping really brings the product at the heart of the session. And I think that's the piece there, that it reduces uncertainty for buyers and then in turn builds that confidence to purchase and make a purchase instantly. The next segment, give me 1 second, is a medium to long-term impact, the community. So your first 10 minutes of a live is arguably the most important 10 minutes of a live. And you've got to think about it wise, because anyone that joins your live, your audience on a live, you want to ask them, hey, what's your name? Where are you from? How's your day been? What's been going on? It's kind of like a radio show. It's kind of like a resale store. Think of your live shopping as if it's the biggest virtual retail store that you have. That way, your footfall that you have in a retail store is the same footfall and traffic that you have on your live stream. So anyone that joins your live stream, you want to engage with them early on and build that trust and relationship with them, that connection that then brings through to your next live session. You might have one on a Monday, one on a Wednesday, one on a weekend. That consistency brings the community. They know, hey, this is when Pre-Love Tech is going to go live, and this is when I can get my interest in the next product that they've got in front of them. Or actually, I just want to connect with Matt. So really, you've got to think about the community you're building, and that in turn drives the commerce. The more you build at that front end of community, the more you can build to repeat purchases and buyers that are engaged with you and who you are. And for me, the easiest way to think of live shopping is really that piece on a retail store. Think of it as one person. For example, myself here, we have room for, 1,000 people. On a live, you're uncapped. You have the room and the ability to have as many viewers and buyers as you can in the room. Often it's about 100 to 200 viewers per session that are constantly coming in and out of your store, constantly coming in and out of your live stream, and they're trying to get engaged, trying to see who you are, what you're doing. It's that piece of you have the capacity to go live when you want. So you're not restricted to 9 to 5 store hours. You can go live at midnight. You can go live 2 a.m., 3 a.m. We have some sellers that go live 24 hours. It really depends on your community. There is no real right time to go live, but it's up to you on how and when your community is engaged. So that's the piece there. Building on your community then kind of builds long-tail success and commerce. The next piece here is why eBay. And I love this piece because it's kind of focused on the people that we have today. So we've got a few of our guys here. We've got tons of guys around UK, and what we focus on is helping you guys start and then grow and scale. And the way we do that is through seller support. So when you're joining or you're interested in eBay Live, and hopefully some of you guys are today, please ask us questions anytime over there on the side. But when you register and you onboard and you go through that journey, we're there with you, supporting you and giving you guidance on, hey, actually this is the feedback from your live, and this is how you can improve the live. This is how you can increase viewership, and actually, how do you bring more viewers into your live stream? We give you advice and journey and handhold you a little bit through that journey, so you're not left on your own. I think that's the power of eBay and how we support sellers as a community. There's different home environments. We just came from the roadshow in Nottingham, and we try and connect with sellers and try and give you that guidance. So I really, really want to focus on this piece here, how eBay looks at sellers and tries to give you that support to say, hey, this is how you launch that new channel. The second piece here is the money back guarantee for giving buyers confidence. There are tons and tons of ways that we're bringing in new features on the app and on the marketplace to give buyers that trust to buy through eBay. One of those is mentioned before, Authentication guarantee, and how there is a space in London where high value products will go through that trust process to give the viewers and the buyers that confidence that, hey, this is the right place to make those considerable purchases. So eBay Live really builds on that and gives you an opportunity to connect your core and your live together in a trusted marketplace. So there's 3 specific pillars in how we help you. And these are really, really cool moments. And we get asked about these a lot of the time. So events, these are your live sessions. How often do you want to go live? Do you want to go live every day for 2 hours? Do you want to go live once a week? It's up to you to create your weekly moments. But what we have is tentpole moments. We support sellers in creating those moments. Maybe it's a go-to market lever that you want to launch, a charitable day that you want to take part in, or it's a brand new product that you're launching and you want to have a specific moment in the month of the year where you build towards. Maybe you do some social content and you drive towards this specific eBay Live that you're going to build. Those tentpole moments really drives high engagement, high viewership, and there's areas and avenues of where we could support you and how it fits into our category planning. So it really depends on what you guys want to do and how you build it in and how you can work with eBay. There's a couple of examples I'll share in a couple of slides after. The second piece is promotions. So when you look at promotions, you've got push notifications, homepage banners, email banners, live banners. These are basically places on the eBay marketplace where you could have higher visibility. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a seller and you go live, and you're about to go live, and you spontaneously go live without any notification, not letting anyone know that you're going to go live. Your audience that are already following you will get that notification on their phone. But what can we do? How does eBay support you? So there's an opportunity where if you're building with us and working with us, we could do that push notification on your behalf to a category. So let's say you sell watches and you want to engage with the watch community. Is there an opportunity here where we could send and work with you and with other sellers to send push notifications to say, hey, these are the sellers that are going live on Watch Wednesdays. So we do create joint partnership and mechanics and weekly moments to really help drive visibility. And then finally, sales and what happens with your live. So at the end of your live is always available. It doesn't just kind of disappear. It's on your account. So you can get recaps. Viewers can come back into your account and actually not engage specifically with the live, but they can review the live and actually see a moment of this is how your listing that's on your core site actually looks by recapping the live. So that you can then create, chop, clip it, and reuse that content across socials. So ultimately, you can do your live and have a flywheel that exists supporting your next live. So create a 2-hour live, download it, clip it, and then put it out there on socials to re-engage that audience or re-engage a new audience driving to your next live. It's a flywheel that you can create. So there is an element of continuity after the live session. So this is one of my favorite slides of today. Why is because it shows why eBay Live is today. The moment is now, the moment is today. You can see on the left-hand side, these are all cover shots of what we've been up to. So you got eBay with M&S, the launch of M&S apparel for women's wear. We've done a really strong live there with talent-driven activations. You've got London Card Show. One of my favorite pieces here is when you've got these card show events where they're selling Pokemon and Digimon and trading cards and all sorts. You have to be there to engage in the commerce. And live streaming enables viewers that aren't able to get there to actually see what's taking place. So it really expands your footfall, your reach. And then you've got things like Love Island. You've got the superstore that happened in London, where there's a takeover of an entire retail environment, and it was driven with the fashion team to deliver fashion runway and fashion lives. Again, you've got endless runway, and the final one with one of my favorites, Michael Owen, and we've done a lot of different things with Peter Crouch, other footballers. We do bring moments to eBay Live. There's a couple on there that's not mentioned. You got Sideman Charity, you got SNL sponsorship, Saturday Night Live with eBay Live. You've got a lot of moments that are happening today, and that's how eBay is supporting and driving the viewership. It's not just about what you do, but it's also about the bigger moments that we create together with eBay and sellers together. How long we got left? Okay, we've got a few minutes. So the next slide I'll touch base on it is all about a little bit of feedback. So we get from sellers. So you've got Simon from the Gentleman Marketeer, who says, I get a lot more traction to my normal shop and I get a lot more sales from it. Really highlighting the impact of that halo effect that happens on your core site. So remember, when you do a live, that traffic doesn't just stay in the live, it kind of carries over sometimes into your core site. Then you've got Amy Weaver from Vintage Honeypots, who sell jewelry, watches, high-end, mid-range. And the feedback they got is that we're consistently seeing strong price realization, plus support from existing core shop followers and gaining new store followers through our eBay live shows. What this tells us is that price realization piece is really strong on eBay. Why? Is because viewers that are in your live stream are ready to buy. They have a higher intent to buy. Again, going back to the trust element. So we see that directly in sellers and the feedback that we're getting. Finally, what happens when you go live? Or what is the process? What's the stage and steps? How do you do it? Ultimately, we've got 3 phases, right? You get the onboarding piece, which is really, really personalized. So we look at, right, what kind of profile are you? And what kind of help can we give you? So the onboarding takes place. You do kind of a couple training sessions, giving you access to the back end and showing you, right, this is how you build a live draft. And then we show you in the next couple of weeks how to activate it, how to go live. We get a couple coaching sessions. We look at the breakdown in performance. We look at what worked and what could be done a little bit better. And then we look at scale. That scaling piece is where you could have access to a dedicated account manager, and you can get access to more strategic levers. So looking at maybe there's a homepage takeover, a homepage banner, maybe there's an event that we're doing that we really want you to be a part of. So there's 3 phases to grow and scale with eBay and eBay Live. And ultimately, that's what we're here to do today, to give you guys an overview of how eBay Live works, what we're doing, and how you can get involved. So the next step here is we'll do a couple Q&As. We'll look at the questions that are coming in. But ultimately, if you are interested in eBay Live, please scan the QR code, register your interest. This doesn't mean that you're 100% going to be doing eBay Lives. It means we're able to kind of take you through that next step. Maybe we can have a conversation just across on our booth. But ultimately, we want to be able to share and help you tell your story, your brand, and bring more visibility to your products and to who you guys are. So thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And we'll hand over to Q&A.
We've not had anything through on the QR system. Anybody got a question they did want to ask, Shah? You've obviously done such a good job.
That's amazing. I love that.
Fantastic job, yeah. So
if some questions do come up, then we're happy to answer them over on the side there. Oh, we got one just over there.
Would you be rolling out open these other categories? Because I know you're only doing that on a half look. So like home garden, DIY.
Good question. They are actually open as well. So as long we focus on our key categories, are collectibles and fashion that are really, really willing and really strong right now. But we also have those home and garden is open. So you've got a couple sellers. I think it's also floral comes to mind that are selling garden flowers, pots, and things like that, accessories. And then you've got a DIY. I can't remember who it was the top of my head, but you've got a couple sellers that are starting to drive in that DIY piece there with tools and accessories there. So those categories are open. And you can definitely apply for eBay Live, and then we take you through the process. Some products may not be suitable as of today, but they're opening up as we go along. So if you're in those two spaces, then I'd definitely say register your interest, and we can take it from there.
Brilliant.
Good.
Thank you, Shah. If you can all help me in saying thank you, Shah, that'd be great.